Prof. Patrick Utomi is a respected political economist, governance advocate, and founder of the Center for Values and Leadership. He has held various government and private sector roles, including Special Assistant to President Shehu Shagari and Executive Leadership at Volkswagen Nigeria. He also serves as Chairman of Business Day Media and creator of the civic discourse platform Potatoes Gang, a former presidential candidate and long-time faculty member at Lagos Business School. Utomi is a renowned public intellectual with global influence. He frequently speaks on leadership, development, and Africa's economic future, and collaborates with institutions like Harvard, CSIS, and Chatham House.
I'm pleased to join you, and you ask me who are elites. Well, elites are people who have privilege in society, have influence, and this can come either from education, usually does come from that. It can come from a place in the bureaucracy of systems, the talents they have, the aristocracy of talent is said to be what has pushed the modern age. It can come from social status or enterprise. So all of these people have a duty, because in society we say he who has privilege has obligations, noblesse oblige or noblesse obligeur. These are part of how we recognize elites in society. So what are the practical ways elites can overcome apathy in engaging in politics? Well, it's obvious that people don't want to get into situations of being tarnished and all of that, but you will recognize from experience that if you don't, you get hurt. So elites can participate in groups, elite groups, social organizations, and bring to those a commitment of that society to the common good, to ensuring justice and equity. Because as they say, look, when the elite are all doing so well and so many are poor, well, they will sleep with one eye closed, because, hey, the poor, hungry people, they want to have them for dinner. Now you also ask me, how should citizens advocate for policies that support justice, fairness? I mean, I mentioned an example of a service organization like Rotary, and their 4 or 5 way test, or whatever it is right now. And those are ways that we remind ourselves of our obligation to society. Like I say, noblesse oblige. He who has privilege has obligation. He has a duty to advance the common good of all. And so through that, we do these things. What actions can demonstrate responsibility for civic engagement for an elite? Well, besides organizations of the type that I mentioned, that are social organizations, there are platforms. If those kinds of platforms are projected, and most of the elites know people in power, to say, look, this is the thought stream on how to do things well and do things right, then we're going to find that it is possible for elite to organize themselves and have networks, have workshops from time to time. I remember when we had the concerned professionals, when people used to be afraid that local government chairmen were so powerful under the military. Those of us in concerned professionals in the Ikoyi Victoria Island area chose to have a public forum. It was at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs. And we invited or summoned the local government chairman, who was a retired military fellow. He was shaking like a leaf because nobody ever invited him to account. And so elite must do things like that. And the more we do this, the more successful we're going to be in creating a society that is just, one that is fair to all, and one that we can all live harmoniously in together. Because the absence of this kind of sense of justice usually means that the sense of anomie that comes from a perception of injustice can overwhelm society. Look at what most of the countries of Africa are going through today because of exclusion. Elite have to recognize that it's in their best interest to have inclusion central to how they engage, and that this process of inclusion can actually help them educate better the rest of society, because education is very important for civic duty, for civic action. Many people act because they are not educated enough. An elite can find ways of essentially socializing people into the state a society should be in. We must not neglect these things. These are duties. If we don't do them, we pay a very dear price in society. And so as I congratulate this effort, I want to encourage all of us to become active. Not to be is to jeopardize the possibilities for ourselves, for our children and their children.